Hi there! Great that you are watching this video. This time I teach you to crochet this beautiful but oh so easy sweater. The sweater is crocheted in one piece. We just have to close the side seams and sleeves and we are all done. And the free written pattern can be found on my blog. The link to my blog is in the description box down below. If you like this Caia sweater, give me a thumbs up, and if you aren't subscribed yet and you like to see more patterns, click the subscribe button and the bell button next to it, so you will be notified when I post a new video. I enjoy reading your comments, so please do so in the comment section down below. I read them all. Thanks for watching and enjoy! For this project I used Ice Yarns Natural Cotton Fine in the color Dark Mint Green. It's a 100% cotton, 50 grams and 150 meters. It's a number 2 yarn and the recommended hook size is 3 millimeter. For this sweater I use a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook. So let's begin. We start the pattern with some measurements. We make the sweater in one piece, so we write down all measurements in this drawing so that we always have them at hand. You can find this drawing and the written pattern on my blog. A link to my blog is in the description box down below. There's also a link to the yarn, so if you like that, you can find it there. Okay, for the measurements, you first measure around your chest, so the widest part around your chest. Measure all the way around and make sure your tape measure isn't really tight around your body, so it's nice and loose. Then divide that number by 2 and write this down at number 1. So for me that's 18.5 inches. And then measure from your armpit to where you want your sweater to fall and write that number down by number 2. For me it is about 16 inches. Then measure from your shoulder, the top of your shoulder, to where you want your sleeve to fall and write that number down at number 3. It's also 16 inches for me. And then measure from your armpit to the top of your shoulder. So from the armpit to the top of your shoulder, multiply that by 2. So armpit to the top of your shoulder and that same length one more time. So multiply by 2, then write it down at number 4. So for me it's 14 inches. So if you have your measurements, then we can start our real pattern. We start with a single crochet foundation chain. If you want to learn how, you can find the link in the description box down below and click on the link, and then you go to my blog. There's a photo tutorial on how to do a single crochet foundation chain. I'm going to teach you in this video as well. If you don't like to start with a single crochet foundation chain, you can also start with a normal chain and then work single crochets on top. Then you have the same beginning as I have. So for the single crochet foundation chain, you need to make a chain as long as the width you wrote down by number 1. So for me it's 18.5 inches. The stitch pattern is in multiples of 5, so work 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 as many times as you need to come as close as possible to this number. Okay, we start with a slip knot on our hook, and I zoom in so you can see better what I'm doing. Okay, we have a slip knot on our hook and then we chain 1. In this first chain we insert our hook then yarn over, pull up a loop, you have 2 loops on your hook, and then normally for a single crochet you yarn over, pull through all 2 loops on your hook. In this case we yarn over, pull through 1 loop. This is your next place to insert your hook. So you now made a chain, and then we yarn over and finish our normal single crochet. So in this chain you insert your hook on the 2 loops, then yarn over, pull up a loop, and instead of yarning over and pull through 2 loops on your hook, we yarn over, pull through 1 loop. I think it's easy to hold this chain between your fingers, so you know where to insert your hook in the next stitch, but you can also put in a stitch marker so you remind yourself where to put your hook. Then yarn over and pull through 2 loops on your hook. Insert under the 2 loops of the pinch stitch, then pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 to make the chain, hold this chain and yarn over and pull through 2 loops on your hook. Insert under the 2 loops of the stitch you hold between your fingers, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1. This is your new chain and a new place to insert your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2. Insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1. This is your new chain, and pull through 2. Insert under 2 loops of the chain, through 1, through 2. So this is your single crochet foundation chain. If you don't like to start, you can, like I said, you can start with a normal chain and then work a row of single crochets on top. Then you have the same start, and then we can work from there. So work this single crochet foundation chain in multiples of 5 plus 3. So you work up until in multiples of 5 until you reached your the width you wrote down by number 1, and then you make 3 more stitches. So multiples of 5 plus 3. So keep working, make your single crochet foundation chain, and I'll meet you back when mine is long enough to start our stitch pattern. Okay, my single crochet foundation chain is the width I wrote down by number 1 and is in multiples of 5. And now I'm going to start my stitch pattern. So we chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we skip this first stitch, because this is chain 3 is our first double crochet. So we skip this one, then yarn over, insert in the next, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. You now have 2 double crochet. We make another double crochet in the next stitch. So yarn over, insert in the next stitch, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. You now have 3 double crochet in the first 3 stitches, because your chain 3 in the beginning counts as your first double crochet. Then we chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we skip 2, 1, 2, and in the third we make a single crochet. In the next, a single crochet, and in the next, a single crochet. So 3 single crochet. Then chain 3, 1, 2, 3. 3 will be your magic number throughout this whole pattern, so it's 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 single crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet. So skip 2, 1, 2, and in the third we make a double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Another double crochet in the next. And another double crochet in the next. So 3 double crochet next to each other in the next 3 stitches, and then chain 3 again, 1, 2, 3, skip 2, 1, 2, and 3 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, and 3. Chain 3 again, 1, 2, 3, skip 2, 1, 2, and in the third double crochet again, 1, and in the next another one, and in the next, you guess, another one, then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip 2, 1, 2, and in the third we make a single crochet. In the next, a single crochet, and again in the next another single crochet. So we have 3 single crochets next to each other. So this is your starting row. So keep working, making a chain 3, skip 2, then 3 double crochet in the next 3 stitches, chain 3, skip 2, 3 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, chain 3, skip 2, 3 double crochet, and so on. So keep working until you are at the end of your row, and then I'll meet you back. I finished my first row, and it depends on how many stitches you started with, if you end with 3 double crochet or you end with 3 single crochet. So that depends on the width you need. So this is the first row. For the second row, if you end with 3 double crochet like me, then you chain 1, turn your work, and make 3 single crochet on top of the double crochet. So 1, 2, and 3 on top of the 3 double crochet. Then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we make 3 double crochet on top of the single crochet. So 1 double crochet, another double crochet, and 3 double crochet on top of the 3 single crochet of the previous row. Then chain 3 again, 1, 2, 3, and then we make 3 single crochet on top of the double crochet from the previous row, 1, 2, and 3, and then chain 3 again. If you ended with 3 single crochet, then you chain 3, turn your work, and then make double crochet on top of your single crochet, and then chain 3, then make 3 single crochet on top of your double crochet, chain 3, make 3 double crochet on top of your single crochet. So it's the same thing, only you start with either a single crochet, 3 single crochet next to each other, or you start your rows with 3 double crochets next to each other. And then it depends on, if you start with a single crochet, then you chain 1, turn your work. If you start with double crochet, then you chain 3, turn your work, and that chain 3 counts as your first double crochet of that row. So we make 3 single crochet, then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and on top of that we have 3 single crochet here, so on top we make 3 double crochet. It's a very easy repeat, just 3 at a time, every time. So 3 double crochet, chain 3, and then we have 3 double crochet and we make 3 single crochet on top. Repeat this all the way across, and I meet you back when I am at the end of this row, so I can show you how to start a row if you start with double crochets instead of single crochets. So I can show you that as well. I'm at the end of my row 2. I made 1 single crochet. I need 2 more, so make sure you end always with 3 stitches. So end with a single crochet in the chain 3 from the previous row as well. So you have the same amount of stitches every row. So we need 2 single crochet in the next 2. So 1, and in the top of the chain 3 another single crochet. Now the next row starts with 3 double crochet, so chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn your work, and then we skip this first stitch because this chain 3 counts as your first double crochet, and then make 2 double crochet on top of the next 2 single crochet. So that's 1, and that's 2, and then move on, chain 3, and we have 3 double crochet here, so we need 3 single crochet on top, then chain 3, we have 3 single crochet here, so we need 3 double crochet on top. So every time you see 3 single crochet you make double crochets on top, and if you see double crochets you make single crochets on top, and in between you make chains of 3. Keep working on this stitch pattern until you reached the height you wrote down by number 2. So for me it's 16 inches, and then we finished this part, and then I'll meet you back to show you how to attach the sleeves. So keep working and I'll see you in a bit. Okay, most part of my front panel is done. I worked up, let me show you, about 16 inches. So the number I wrote down at number 2, so you did the same thing. And then it's time to attach the sleeves. So we finish the front panel and we make the sleeves at the same time. So how do we do that? We have our yarn attached on our front panel in this corner, and we make a chain, and this chain needs to be as long as the number you wrote down at number 3. So for me it's 16 inches, so I chain up 16 inches, but this chain also needs to be divisible by 5. So in groups of 5, work it up, chain it up until you have the length, or about the length you wrote down at number 3. Then remember how many chains you made. Leave this part, set it aside for a while, don't bind off, just leave it like this. Then grab a new ball of yarn and attach your yarn in this corner, at this end, and then make exactly the same number of chains as you did on this side. So make them on this side and then bind off. So just leave the chain here, bind off, cut your yarn and set the yarn aside. Leave it for now, and we start on this side with our pattern. To make sure your pattern works up the same on the front panel, you need to count as many stitches you have. So if your chain is divisible by 10, start your new row with the stitch that was next. So if you was just keep working here, then the stitch that was next in this next row, then you start the same stitch over here. So if you needed 3 double crochet here in the next row, then you start here also with 3 double crochet. Only if your chain is divisible by 10. If your chain is only divisible by 5, then you start with the opposite of what was next. If you need to start your row with 3 double crochet, then you do the opposite, so you start here with 3 single crochet. This will make the pattern on top of your front panel exactly as it should be. So let's get started again. So mine needs to be about 16 inches. So I chain up 5 and another 5 and another 5, just until I have 16 inches or very close to 16 inches, and then I'll meet you back. Okay, my chain is long enough, so I've chained 75 stitches. So 75 stitches is for me the length I wrote down at number 3 and is divisible by 5. Then remove your hook, make a little bigger loop and set this aside. Then we move to the other side of our front panel, to the other corner, and there we attach our yarn and make also 75 stitches. Let me grab a new ball of yarn and then I'll show you how to start. So start with a slip knot on your hook, and then remove your hook for a bit and then attach your yarn in the 3rd chain from this chain 3. So not in this first stitch, because you are going to lose a stitch otherwise. So in this 3rd chain, grab your loop and pull through, tighten the loop and chain 1. You now attached your yarn and you can pull it a little bit tighter, and then we chain exactly the same amount of chains as we did on the other side. So I made 75, so I make 75 chains as well on this side. So we already chained 1, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. So chain up the amount of chains you have on the other side, so that's the same, and then I'll meet you back. Okay, I have 75 stitches on this side as well, and now I can cut this yarn and bind off. Okay, this chain, we leave that just the way it is, so leave that on this side, and then we go back to the other side where our yarn is still attached. So I have my sleeve, or the chain for my sleeve here. Put in your hook again, and then. So I made 75 stitches, just so that is not divisible by 10, but only by 5. So I need to start with the opposite of what was next in my pattern. So I ended here with 3 double crochet. So in my pattern I used to start with 3 single crochet, but because my chain is not divisible by 10, I have to start with 3 double crochet, so the opposite. If your chain is divisible by 10, then you start with the stitches you were supposed to start with without the sleeves. So I have to start with 3 double crochet. So I chain 3, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, and in this fifth stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, yes, in the fifth stitch we make a double crochet. And if your chain is divisible by 10, then you start with maybe single crochet, or that are the two options. So you start with 3 double crochet or 3 single crochet, and a double crochet in the next, and then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, we know the drill, then skip 2, and in the third we make a single crochet. In the next we make a single crochet, and another single crochet in the next. So 3 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and then chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3. Maybe you can see it a bit better like this. Skip 2, so yarn over, 1, 2, and in the third we make a double crochet. In the next a double crochet, and in the next another double crochet. What a surprise. Then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip 2, 1, 2, and then 3 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. Okay, so here we have the start of our sleeve. Just keep working, and I'll meet you back when I am at this point, where we can double check if we calculated right and if our pattern is nicely continuing in the body. So keep working, and I'll meet you back when I am at the end of my chain. So I'm at the end of my sleeve. I have 2 chains left, so that's exactly how it should be. And now I turn my work so I can work directly to my front panel, on my front panel. So I ended here 3 double crochet, then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip my last 2 chains. Make sure your chain or your beginning row 1 of your sleeve isn't twisted, and then insert in the first stitch of your body, make a single crochet. In my case it is a single crochet, in your case maybe it is a double crochet. That depends on the width of your sweater. So you see mine comes exactly how it should be, comes out. So I should have 3 single crochet on top of this 3 double crochet, and that is how it is. So that's always nice. So I counted, I have counted my stitches the right way. So if you do the same thing as I did, then you should be fine. Then chain 3, and just continue working over your body until you reach this end of your sleeve, and then I'll meet you back. Okay, I finished the row of my body, and now I am at the other side to start our sleeve. Okay, we end here with 3 single crochet. Well, I end here with 3 single crochet, maybe you end with 3 double crochet. So start on your sleeve with the next. So I ended with 3 single crochet, so I have to make 3 double crochet to start my sleeve. So chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, yarn over, and then skip 1, 2, and in the third chain we make a double crochet or a single crochet. Just make what is next. Make another double crochet. It's always a little bit difficult, this first row, but take your time and then you'll be fine. 2, and we need one more, and number 3. So 3 double crochet, chain 3, skip 2, 1, 2, and in the third a single crochet. And in the next a single crochet, and in the next another single crochet. Okay, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip 2, 1, 2, and in the third we make a double crochet. The next double crochet, and in the next another double crochet. So you get the point, and then chain 3, skip 2, 3 single crochet. Like this. Just keep working until the end of the chain, and I'll do the same, and if I am at the end of my chain, then I'll meet you back. Okay, I finished the other side of the sleeve, and now it's time to work up the sleeves and the upper half of the body. So just repeat the rows just like you did for the body until your work is half of the number you wrote down at number 4. So I wrote down 14 inches here, so when my work is 7 inches, then I'll meet you back and then I'll show you how to make the neckline. So work up your sleeves and your front panel until the sleeves are half of the height you wrote down at number 4. And then I'll meet you back. So my half sleeve is done, the front of my sleeve. This is about 7 inches. And now it's time to mark the neckline, so where to start your neckline. And you see, here is the corner, your sleeve and your body at the bottom. So at this point, go up, and then, in my case, 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of single crochets and double crochets inwards, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then in the last of the 3 put a stitch marker. So then go to the other side. So here's the sleeve, here is the corner where your sleeve starts, and then from the body up 1, 2, 3, 4, and in this stitch we put our other stitch marker. So you see, this is about 11 inches. So I have about 11 inches in between the 2 stitch markers for my neckline. If you want a bigger hole, make a bigger hole. If you want a smaller hole, make a smaller neck hole, hole for the neck. But keep in mind that the distance between the side of your sweater and your stitch marker is the same on both sides. So check that. And then you can place the stitch markers wherever you want. Now, let's move on. Okay, I ended with 3 double crochet, so my next row starts with 3 single crochet. Turn your work, and if your next row starts with 3 double crochet, then start with 3 double crochet. We just repeat our pattern just the way we did for the whole sweater. So repeat, so chain 3, 3 double crochet and so on, all the way across the sleeve and the body until you reach your first stitch marker. And then I'll meet you back. I just made my last stitch, the stitch with the first stitch marker, and now we chain our neckline. How do we do that? We chain as many stitches as we need to skip this part between the two stitch markers. So we count. We have the stripes, vertical stripes, and the chain 3 spaces in between. So every stripe is 5 chains. So this, we don't count this because here is our stitch marker, so we start with the next stripe. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And the stripe with the stitch marker we don't count as well. So I have 11 stripes of double crochet, single crochets in between my two stitch markers. So every stripe counts as 5 stitches, counts for 5 stitches. So 11 times 5 is 55 stitches. So we chain 55. If you have 12 stripes in between, or 10 or 9, then 9 times 5, 11 times 5, 12 times 5, so as many stripes as you have times 5 to get your chain length. And then, so 55 for me, and always plus 3. Multiples by 5 and then chain 3 extra. So we cover this part as well. Count your stripes, multiply by 5 and then make 3 extra. Chain that many stitches and then I'll meet you back. So I finished 58 stitches, so 5 times 11, 55 plus 3. And now it's time to connect the chain to the stitch with the other stitch marker. Okay, to attach your chain to the stitch with the stitch marker, you need to make sure your chain isn't twisted. Yes, and then we need to make a double crochet, 3 double crochet in this first 3 single crochet. So yarn over, hold this so it doesn't unwind, and then insert in this stitch with a stitch marker, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. You now attach your yarn and your neckline is done. I need to attach a new ball. I finished exactly 3 balls for to make the front panel and the neck hole. If you make a bigger size or your tension is looser than mine, then you probably need a ball extra. But this yarn, if you choose the same yarn as I use, this yarn comes in a pack of 8 balls. So if 6 balls isn't enough, you can use the other 2 to finish your work. So keep in mind, 6 balls is enough for a small to medium size. If you need a bigger size, then you need extra balls. And then continue your pattern just the way you did before. Then chain, turn, and work the same back. And when you are at this point again, then I'll meet you back. So work forward and back, and then I'll meet you back when I'm at this point again. I reached the end of my row and the beginning of my chain, so I can remove my stitch marker. And now just repeat the pattern over the chain. So we made 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 single crochet, then now chain 3, 1, 2, 3, we skip 2, and in the third we make a double crochet. I use the back bump, but you can use the front as well, that's up to you. So in the third, make a double crochet, then in the next chain a double crochet, and in the next chain a double crochet. Maybe you need to make here single crochets, then make single crochets. That's just how your pattern is continuing. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3, we skip 2, and in the third we make a single crochet. So keep working on your pattern back and forth until you work on the back end of the sleeve is as many rows as you made on the front. So 7 inches on the front, so make also 7 inches on the back, and then I'll meet you back when my sleeve is 14 inches in height. My sleeves are ready. They are just as high as I measured at number 4, so we continue with the back piece. I first bind off, so got the yarn over and pull through and pull tight. And now we decide where we start our back panel. So here is my neck hole, my neckline, and here ends my front panel. So and this is my sleeve, so we follow this line all the way to the other side. So we now know that in this stitch we need to attach our yarn, reattach our yarn. So get your yarn, make a slip knot, grab the slip knot with your hook and pull through. We now reattach the yarn and we chain 1 and pull tight. Okay, we go to the other side, and then we see here our other front panel, and it goes into our sleeve. So at the end of this side of the front panel, we follow the line up, and then we are at the other side, and then the stitch on the right. So you have 3, in my case 3 double crochet, maybe you have 3 single crochet, but the stitch on the right, that's the stitch with, gets the stitch marker. So we marked our end of the back panel and we attached our yarn at the beginning so we can start our pattern. So we made a slip stitch, slip knot, and then a chain 1, so we can turn our work. And then just continue your stitch pattern. So I have 3 double crochet here, so I need to make 3 single crochet on top. So insert in the first, yarn over, pull up a loop, and make a single crochet. Make a single crochet in the second. I work over my tail end so I can weave it in same time, but you don't have to do that. You can leave it until the end and then weave it in the end. So 3 single crochet on top of the 3 double crochet. If you have 3 single crochet here, then you make a chain 3 and 2 double crochet on top. So it's just the same as the rest of the pattern. So chain 3, then for me yarn over and make 3 double crochet in the next 3 single crochet. So 1, 2 and 3, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 3 single crochet in the next 3 double crochet. So continue your stitch pattern until you are at the stitch marker, and then I'll meet you back. Okay, I reached my stitch marker. I need 1 more single crochet in the stitch with a stitch marker to finish my row, or you maybe need 3 double crochet to finish your row. Stitch marker can come out. We don't need it anymore. And now it's just chain 3 in my case, maybe chain 1, turn your work in your case. So chain 3, turn your work, and then repeat the stitch marker all the way back. Then work back and forth until you reached the same length as you have on your front. So keep working, and I'll meet you back when mine is long enough. Yes, my back panel is the same size as my front panel, as you can see in the picture. To finish the bottom edge of the back panel, we need a row of single crochets. We started our pattern with a single crochet foundation chain, so to mirror the front, we make a row of single crochets as well on the back panel. So therefore chain 1, turn your work, and then just make single crochets in every stitch across. So 3 single crochet in the first 3 single crochet, or maybe you have 3 double crochet, so make 3 single crochet in the first 3 double crochet. Then we have a chain 3. We make single crochets in the chains, so not around the chains but in the chains. So insert in the first chain, yes, so that's 1. In the next chain, single crochet, and in the third chain another single crochet, and then we have 3 double crochet, in my case 3 double crochet, so also these 3 gets a single crochet. Not hard at all. So keep working and make 1 single crochet in every chain and 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way across, and then I'll meet you back. I finished the last row of single crochet, and now it's time to sew the side seams and the sleeves. Therefore you lay your work like this, and then take the back part and flip it on top of the front. You see in the photo exactly what I mean. We don't bind off. You see here, this is my side on top of each other, and then here is my sleeve. You don't have to worry about the right side or the wrong side, because every side is the same. So just pick the side you like the most, and then make sure that side is on the inside. You can put in some stitch markers to make sure your work lays nicely on top of each other, but I make sure I put in 1 in the corner where my panels ends and my sleeves begin, so I can't make a mistake where to put the corner, and then you can sew this side together. So we didn't bind off. You can make single crochets along the edges or to sew them together, or you can make slip stitches. That's up to you. I use single crochet because I think that gives a little bit more stretch, but I don't know if that is true. Maybe that's between my ears, but it is what I'm going to do. So I make single crochet stitches all the way across the side seam. So insert in this corner and insert in this corner. Pull up a loop and pull through 2. And now you just need to eyeball it to see where you place your single crochets, because in my case my rows aren't lined up. So I have a double crochet and across a single crochet. So that's difficult to line up. So just eyeball it a little bit. Don't make your stitches too tight, but don't make them too loose either. Otherwise you get a very stretchy side seam. That's not what you want. So insert under the loops, if you can get your hook through. Yes, and then single crochet or make a slip stitch, that's up to you. You can also seam it up with a needle and some thread. That's up to you. So you can sew it together. So keep working all the way to the end of the sleeve. So through your front and through your back. Through your front and through your back panel. And make a single crochet. Let's do that again. Single crochet. So make sure you don't go around the double crochet, because otherwise you get a big gap, but try to insert in the stitch and then in the stitch on the other side, and finish your single crochet. And that way you get a nice side seam. Okay, so keep working, finish your side seam and your sleeve, and do the same on the other side. So you have two closed sides, and then I'll meet you back. I have closed the sides and sleeves, and now it is time to finish the sleeves and the neckline. We do that with one round of single crochet stitches. So I show you the sleeve first. Make a slip knot. Insert your hook. Pick up your slip stitch or your slip knot and pull through. And then chain one. Now attach your yarn, pull tight a bit. If you know another way to attach your yarn, you can do that. Oh, you need to work on the right side now. So we make the seam on the inside, so on the wrong side, and then we flip our work right side out, and then we make our round of single crochet. So insert in the next stitch. The same thing with closing the seams. I make in every row of double crochet, I make 2 single crochet, and in every row with single crochet I make 1 single crochet. So this was a single crochet row, and now I have a double crochet row. You can see that with it has a bigger hole. We don't work around the stitches again, just like in the seam, but in the stitch. So we don't create a big hole. And then I have a single crochet row, and there I just make 1 single crochet in the single crochet. Then I have a double crochet. So the double crochet row gets 2 single crochet, and we make the single crochet in the stitch and not around the stitch. So 2 single crochet. Then I have a single crochet row again. So 1 single crochet, and I work over my tail. If you want your sleeve to be a little bit tighter at the end, then you can make 1 single crochet in every row. Then it will be a little bit tighter at the bottom, but I like it a bit wider so it's nice and flowy. So I make my single crochets like this. A double crochet, and this gets 2 single crochet in the stitch, and then a single crochet row, just 1 single crochet. So alternate 2 single crochet in the double crochet rows and 1 single crochet in the single crochet rows, and then repeat that all the way around. And then I'll meet you back. My round of single crochet is done. I need to make a slip stitch in the first single crochet of my round to close the round, and then yarn over, pull through, cut your yarn and pull your yarn through, tighten it, and your sleeve is done. So repeat the same on the other sleeve and repeat on your neckline. So exactly the same, but now single crochet in the chain, so not in the chain space but in the chain and in the stitches all the way around. Close with a slip stitch, cut your yarn, bind off, weave in your ends, and that's it. Your sweater is finished. Enjoy making and wearing this Caia sweater. Don't forget to give a thumbs up if you like this tutorial, and if you want to see more, then subscribe to my channel for many more fun crochet patterns. I like reading your comments, so if you have some fun to share, a question or any idea, be sure to do so in the comments down below. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye!